Students around Los Angeles walked out of school to show their solidarity for DACA as the U.S. Supreme Court begins hearing arguments.
We spoke to students at US.
I'm here at MacArthur Park where protesters and students and DACA recipients have concluded their day of protesting. We'll be back here speaking with a DACA recipient.
We spoke to students at USC to understand their experiences as undocumented students.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Hundreds of people gathered across the nation to show their support for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Good evening, I'm Genevieve Glass.
And I'm Robby Aronson. The U.S. Supreme Court heard testimony today for and against the controversial program. In Washington, D.C., Trump's team argued the program is unconstitutional since President Obama bypassed Congress and issued an executive order. Proponents of DACA said DACA recipients do great things for America. Protesters gathered outside of the Supreme Court and here in L.A. Students walked out of school to show their support for DACA. Reporters Felicia Tapia talked to protesters.
Hundreds of students across Los Angeles walked out of class this morning. They rallied in support of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Their program protects about 700,000 undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children. At John Marshall High School in Los Feliz, students hopped on a bus or walked to the federal building in downtown Los Angeles. There, they joined DACA recipients and other protesters. Jasmine Ramirez is a student at Cal State LA who arrived in the U.S. at the age of 3.
As a DACA beneficiary, I think it's important for us to come out and really voice our opinions and rally our friends, our families, our colleagues, anyone that's willing to support our education. I want people to know that it matters, that we're contributors of society, we're getting educations, we have jobs. We're the same as any other American without just the privilege of being born here.
There are walkouts occurring across the state, but the students here downtown are going to march to MacArthur Park where there will be events and concerts happening until 8 p.m.
Community members also joined the rally. Carla Ortiz is the daughter of an immigrant. She brought her 2 daughters to join the protest.
I see they're waking up. You know, there's a lot of youth here and they're waking up. It's amazing. It's great. Yeah. My mom's been here for 25 years. And she has not been able to get some sort of documentation. So it hits home. It hits home. Many immigrants need a job, need education. We come here because we want to succeed in life. We don't want to be like someone that is not going to be a port into the society. We want to do something in life. And I think, the voices are being heard, I think.
Ortiz hopes these young people keep up the fight. For Annenberg Media, I'm Felicia Tapia.
Annenberg Media's Chase Beach is live at MacArthur Park, where students and protesters have gathered in solidarity with DACA recipients.
Thanks, Genevieve. I'm here at MacArthur Park at the Levitt Pavilion, where recipients of DACA, students, and protesters have concluded their day of marches. It's a historic event. It's been a historic day, and I'm actually here with a DACA recipient. Raquel says, Raquel, come on over. Raquel is a recently graduated student, and she's also a volunteer with CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights in Los Angeles. Raquel, can you tell me a bit about what this day has been like for you?
Yeah, so this day has been very inspirational, empowering. We had over 400 to 500 high school students walk out from over 11 different high schools across LA County. So it's been very powerful, and more than anything, many of these students, it was either their first time protesting or marching, and they were super excited and pumped, but they also understood that they needed to stand by their fellow peers who may be a DACA recipient or may be undocumented, or their principal or their teacher, that their job may be at risk if they're not eligible or able to renew their DACA.
Right, and as a DACA recipient yourself, can you tell me what DACA has meant for you and to you?
Yeah, so for myself, DACA has been very, it's been making me very mobile, and it's allowed me to work and also like access internships, fellowships, which many students sometimes don't have.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Raquel. Thank you for sharing your story with us. So the party will continue here, and we're for Annenberg Media. This is Chase Beach. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chase. And one student protester spoke with Annenberg Media about today's march and what DACA means to her.
Really what this program means to me is just like my livelihood, because I can't not have a social, I can't not have a work permit, because then I can't work. If I don't work, I can't pay for school. If I don't pay for school, I can't go to school. If I don't have rent money, I'm homeless. I actually didn't know I was undocumented till my senior, year. I went home and I asked my mom, and I was like, hey mom, like these colleges are asking for something called the social security number, and that's when me and my mom had to sit down and have that conversation where it's like, hey, you're actually not documented, and that was the first time I had ever even understood what undocumented was. It's just been a struggle watching my mom work for these companies that exploit her. Like she ran away, she escaped Mexico because she was in an abusive relationship with a man that was very powerful. Femicide is really big in Mexico, and now it's time for us to fight for like our parents.
Community leaders are urging DACA students to renew their membership and stick together as they face the challenges ahead.
Here at USC, there are 3 scholarships and other resources that help undocumented students, but many are worried about a Supreme Court decision that would end DACA. Annenberg Media's Isabel Castillo has one student's story.
USC sophomore Luis Thun came to Thousand Oaks at the age of 6 from Yucatan, Mexico. He remembers crossing the deserts in the arms of a man with a rabbit running by his side. He is one of 75,000 undocumented college students in California.
When I started to realize what undocumented meant,
Thun applied for the California Dream Act, an application that helped him qualify for financial aid. He then enrolled in USC last fall as a political science major. He didn't need DACA until he graduated in 2018.
Right when I was gonna apply and I realized I needed a job, I needed to get some form of income for myself, that's when the President Trump came inside administration, and that's when he removed DACA.
Not being a DACA recipient has hindered Thun's professional growth. He hasn't been able to apply for all internships and was denied a job as an orientation advisor.
And I had gone through the whole process, 3-round interviews, gotten the job, and then they had to call me in about and tell me that they weren't going to give me the job anymore because I didn't have a social security number.
USC's immigration clinic provides legal support to undocumented students like Thun.
The president has expressed support, and so there's a positive belief that, through this president, perhaps we can get something more institutionalized.
Today, President Folt tweeted #ProtectDreamers.
The failure to have a Dreamer Center sends the wrong message.
Thun feels like more has to be done.
Really, at least make some form of small remedies to assist these students and this population on campus.
Thank you, Isabel, for that story. It was really, really good. As an undocumented student yourself, how's your experience been at USC so far?
Definitely, it's been really hard to get internships as an Annenberg student just because all require work authorization. So I've had to really do my learning in the studio with Annenberg Media.
And can you tell us a little bit about what emotions has today covering this story brought up for you?
Yeah, I think it's brought an element of just understanding and just really trying to cover these stories for my community and also for others who don't really know too much about undocumented students.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
DACA is a program created in 2012 by President Obama that protects young undocumented immigrants from being deported. President Trump is trying to end this program because he says it's unconstitutional.
Ultimately, the question is whether or not the president can terminate a executive action such as DACA, and I think the answer is yes. And what I'm reading from different accounts of the hearing this morning is that the Supreme Court justices do seem split or divided, but that the ultimate question is, can they review the president's decision to end DACA in the first place?
The court's decision will affect the approximate 700,000 recipients of the program. Roughly 80% of those are protected by DACA are from Mexico. And California is home to the largest number of DACA recipients, with the majority of them in Southern California cities.
9 USC students have died since the start of Fall Welcome Week. The university has provided only limited information about the deaths, but here's some information about help that's available to students. Trojans Care for Trojans is a campus support program that allows students, faculty, and staff to report concerns about fellow Trojan community members by anonymously filling out a form. If you or someone you know is struggling, there are various campus resources available. In addition to Trojans Care for Trojans, students can visit the Engelman Health Center or call the 24-hour crisis hotline. That number is 213-740-0411.
Over the past couple of weeks, DPS has been reminding students in Greek life how to stay safe. Campus security wants all USC students to learn those lessons.
The Yellow Jackets, or security ambassadors, are an additional layer of visible security. They are there as a preventative measure and also to inform DPS as a conduit between the students and DPS. They're not the persons who are going to go hands-on and take action. Whatever the issue is, whether it's an intoxicated student or a student in need or help, their role is to call DPS, and then we decide from there what is the best course of action.
Resources like the CSC Yellow Jacket officers are there to help. DPS encourages students to take advantage of the campus safety measures, including the free lift program. Officers say that the choices students make are the most important factors in the student's safety. The impeachment hearings begin tomorrow. We'll show you what you can expect.
And we will give you a roundup of 3 top international stories.
And Disney Plus launched today. We spoke to an expert to find out how this impacts the streaming war.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
The impeachment inquiry goes public tomorrow. After more than a month of closed-doors interviews, Americans will get to hear for themselves what these witnesses have to say. George Kent and Bill Taylor will testify tomorrow. Kent is a senior State Department official in charge of Ukraine policy. Last month, he said in his deposition that Trump, quote, wanted nothing less than Ukrainian President Zelensky to go to the microphone and say, investigation, Biden, Clinton. Bill Taylor is a former ambassador and top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine. He told House investigators that the U.S. relationship with Ukraine, quote, was being fundamentally undermined by an irregular, informal channel of U.S. policymaking. He blamed Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. USC will live stream the impeachment hearings on the big screen tomorrow in the Annenberg lobby.
This side?
Starting at 7 a.m., Media Center Director Christina Bellantoni will lead discussions about the testimony.
And we are back with another segment of Around the World. Here we go beyond the news of the U.S. and USC to tell you about the world around us. Bolivian President Evo Morales resigned on Sunday and fled to Mexico after weeks of protests following his disputed re-election. The deputy head of the Senate, Janine Áñez, declared herself interim president as the country prepares to hold another election. And violence in Hong Kong escalated as police not only used tear gas on the protesters, but also opened fire, hospitalizing one. Protesters responded by throwing bricks and petrol bombs, setting fire to public areas and smashing glass. Venice is famous for those canals that wind around the shops and churches in Italy. But after a wave of heavy rains, tourists are wading through 4 feet of water in front of the famous St. Mark's Square. And that's all for this week's segment Around the World, highlighting global news.
Los Angeles Archbishop Jose Gomez was elected president of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops today. He is the highest-ranking Latino in the Catholic Church in the U.S. and the first Latino to serve in this position. Born in Mexico and now a U.S. citizen, he is known as a strong advocate for immigrant rights and racial justice. Now, it's been pretty nice outside lately.
It's been beautiful. Cannot believe it's November.
Cannot believe it's November. Sarah, what's going on with weather this week?
Thanks, guys. It has been pretty nice outside, but don't let the 75 degrees outside fool you right now. Conditions at USC are 75, and then moving on to the rest of the week, they will also be pretty warm. But looking on into the Inland Empire, where we have 53 in San Bernardino, 83 in Riverside, looking up in Big Bear with 65 and 86 in Palm Springs. Coming into the valley, we're going to see some of that coastal fog in the morning in the Malibu area, but by noon it should clear up with 71, 78 in Thousand Oaks, 82 in Northridge, and 79 in San Fernando. Looking into our 5-day forecast, Wednesday and Thursday we have cloudy with a little bit of sunny later in the day. It's gonna cool back down by nighttime. Friday we have 75, and the weather should kick back up by Saturday and Sunday. Now, 100 deadly brush fires are blazing through Australia. High winds and low humidity provide perfect conditions for these fires to spread. A catastrophic level warning has been issued, urging evacuation as the only option for survival. So far, 3 lives, 100 homes have been lost. Rural Fire Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons and Premier Gladys Berejiklian comment on the destruction.
I've accepted the advice of Commissioner Fitzsimmons and declared a state of emergency across New South Wales.
Our colleagues from Victoria are sending in more than 50 additional fire trucks, which will be pre-positioned. Life is at risk when it comes to catastrophic conditions.
Fires are unfortunately not home to LA, but also the rest of the world is experiencing these tragedies, and 350 koala bears have actually died as a result to these Australian fires.
That is absolutely horrible.
That's definitely sad. That's sad to hear. Disney launched its highly anticipated new streaming service, Disney Plus. Annenberg Media's Celine Chenoy has reaction and a look at how this could impact traditional TV.
The Disney Plus catalog includes over 500 movies and 7,500 TV episodes. The streaming service has thrilled many die-hard Disney fans. Media business expert Gabriel Kahn says that this is a great option for TV viewers.
For the superfans of Disney, of which there are many, this is certainly a great thing because it's a reasonable price point for all of their favorite content that might have previously been spread out over a lot of different places.
The $6.99 per month streaming service was hit by technical difficulties on its early morning launch. Would-be users vented their frustration on social media. Disney said that they are working to quickly resolve the issue.
Not everyone is thrilled about the launch of Disney Plus. Some USC students say that they'd rather stick with Netflix and that they would not be subscribing to additional services.
The shows, like Disney, just isn't really my thing anymore. It was when I was younger, but I just would prefer to spend my money on like Netflix and HBO with like older shows, like for my age.
It's like I wouldn't want to go out of my way to pay for another service when I just have like VHSs and like DVDs sitting at home that I'll just watch.
Experts, including Kahn, say that the launch of Disney Plus will have a major impact on traditional TV.
These now all basically migrating over to new streaming platforms of either Hulu, Disney, or ESPN Plus is essentially the last nail in the coffin of traditional cable.
Disney has to compete with other streaming services like Apple TV, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. For Annenberg Media, I'm Celine Chenoy.
And now that game last night was crazy, with crazy ending, yeah?
Yeah, I'll tell you guys all about that later. But for now, Trojan football fans are furious. Find out what has them fed up. Plus, is USC a basketball school? Stay tuned for men's basketball as they take center court tonight. And what happened during Monday Night Football that topped last week's Black Cat game? Find out after the break.
Hi, I'm Smokey Cole Bear, filling in because for 75 years, Smokey only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
Meanwhile, the song was wrong. We did start the fire. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and...
I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
USC fans, what can I tell you? Trojan hearts are numb at this point. Another recruit has decommitted from USC. Four-star tight end Jack Yari announced his plans to decommit from USC this week. Yari took to Twitter saying, quote, "First off, I would like to thank USC for giving me the opportunity to play at the next level. They have been great to me and shown me nothing but love. I have decided to reopen my recruitment and decommit from USC." Yari's decommitment drops USC's recruiting class to 77th nationally and 11th in the Pac-12. Despite USC's inability to recruit, there has been a light at the end of a dark week. In a close 31-26 win at Arizona State last weekend, Slovis dominated, throwing for 432 yards and 4 touchdowns. The freshman quarterback will head into Cal as the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. That's not all USC's star power, though. Keenan Christian packed in over 140 all-purpose yards and 1 touchdown at ASU. His 82 receiving yards are the most by a Trojan tailback in a single game since 2014, and most by a Trojan freshman tailback since 2003. Now, let's see how USC basketball is holding up. Jordan?
USC men's basketball is at home again tonight against fellow unbeaten South Dakota State at 7. In USC's last game on Friday, freshman Onyeka Okongwu continued his strong campaign. Big O posted his second double-double of the season with 20 points and 13 rebounds. Tonight, look for the team to get everyone involved in what could be a high-scoring affair. To note, the Trojans are 31-4 in their last 35 regular season home non-conference games. From college to the pros, LA basketball is at an all-time high right now. The Lakers head to Phoenix tonight, where they look to improve on their conference best 7-2 record. Their 7-game win streak was snapped on Sunday in a loss to the defending champion Toronto Raptors. And tonight's battle is no gimme, as the Suns have been the NBA's biggest feel-good story early on. For the Clippers, Kawhi barely missed out on a triple-double in his first game against his former team last night. He finished the game with just 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists on 2 of 11 shooting, as the Raptors threw double teams at him all night. And Lou Will chipped in with 21 points off the bench. In other good news for the Clippers, Paul George is expected to return to the court for either Wednesday's game against the Rockets or Thursday versus the Clippers. Lauren, Lakers at 7-2, Clippers at 7-3. Who owns LA now and who can hold on to it throughout the season?
You know, Jordan, on opening night, we debated who would be and who would run LA. I'm sticking with the Clippers. I had them then, I have them now, especially with Paul George back coming, later this week. He will add a great defensive edge for the Clippers. And I think there's no duo better to guard LeBron James than Kawhi and Paul George.
With the Lakers, I'm not just stick with them. LeBron's motivated, AD's motivated. Kyle Kuzma, bring him back. Oh, this is going to be easy money for the Lakers all season long.
You know what? We'll have to see again, even though the Clippers took home opening night. Who knows? Who knows? But Monday Night Football may have Trojans asking, even begging, for Pete Carroll to come back. The Seahawks edged out the 49ers 27-24, handing San Francisco their first loss on the season. This was a game of field goals for sure.
Seattle has done it.
And that would seal the deal for the Seahawks. Jason Myers kicking the winning field goal with no time left to play. A minute prior, 49ers kicker Chase McLaughlin missed a potential game-winning field goal, kicking it so wide left that it actually entered a Levi's Stadium tunnel. Now, Russell Wilson came to play last night as well, throwing for 232 yards and 1 touchdown. The Seahawks captain leads the league with 23 touchdowns on the season. He also holds the best passer rating and most game-winning drives. So tell me, Jordan, after last night's insane Monday Night Football performance by Wilson, is he the MVP?
100%. I said before the game he needed to have an ungodly game for them to win, and he did. He stayed in the pocket. He escaped the pocket. He made big runs, threw to his receivers. The run game was there. Great game by Russell Wilson, and they held on to the game. Even though the Niners said they thought they were going to come back. That kick at the end when McLaughlin missed.
You know, I actually agree with you. I think Wilson came to play like it was an NFC championship game and not just a Monday Night Football game, but hopefully Clay Helton can channel his Pete Carroll this weekend when we take on Cal. For now, back to you guys at the desk.
I've got Russell Wilson on my fantasy team. Pretty lucky.
Well, that was a good pick on your part.
It's the 1-year anniversary of the Woolsey Fire. We'll take you to Annenberg Media's special coverage.
And it's Homeless Awareness Week. We'll take you to their event on Truesdale.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. But it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is.
Paw, do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
Annenberg Radio News aired a special episode for the 1-year anniversary of the Woolsey Fire. The episode features an interview with the woman who coordinated the mass evacuation of Big Heart Ranch, and also listen to members of Camp Shalom remember the destruction and talk about the rebuilding. To hear these stories and more, visit uscannenbergmedia.com/listen.
And it's Homeless Awareness Week. Today, students gathered on Truesdale Way for an affordability exhibit. Participants had the opportunity to see how the USC community feels about homeless access.
And so today we're having an affordability exhibit for Homelessness Awareness Week. And so what the affordability exhibit is essentially a piece of public art, interactive public art, where USC community members can come together and fill out these little slips that tell them information about their housing status. On the macro level, students can see by color kind of how USC students and USC community feels about their housing. And on the micro level, you can kind of compare your price and other things to the person next to you.
Students could choose from the colors red, yellow, and green. The colors range in identity from housing they could comfortably afford with great living conditions to barely affordable rent with bad living conditions. Other events have included a documentary screening and panel. The week will close with a hunger banquet on Thursday.
Before we go, we want to make sure you have the correct number for the 24-hour student counseling service. It is 213-740-7711. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News from everyone at Annenberg Media. I'm Robby Aronson.
And I'm Genevieve Glass. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Hi, everyone.